Good morning. It is a winning Wednesday and the perfect day, for this message. So you guys hop on. Need to let some fresh air in. Whew. Hey, Robin. I love you. Hey, Candace. I love you too. You guys share this video. I know it seems a little redundant. What's up, Darrell? Shamaria. Hey. You guys bomb.com. Share this video because a lot of people really think that because they haven't done what they said they were going to do at the beginning of the year, that they should just give up and quit. It's November. It's not the end of the world, Good morning, Christina. Good morning, Dime. Let me explain something to people. Quitting is, oh my God, it's not admirable. Let's just be honest about that. But then you got to ask yourself, when I'm saying no, what am I really saying no to? I told you guys, a few months back that a no is really a yes. Because when you say no to one thing, you're saying yes to something else. So we have to really be honest about why excuses don't excuse shit. Okay? We're just going to be completely honest about that. What's up, Quan? Hey, Natalia. Look, let me explain something to you. I just posted something that just really resonated with me because cowards love to put their fear in you. People who would not boss up and conquer their now to get to their next, they want to see you quit. They want to see you stop. They want, yesterday everybody was laughing about the post that I put up, but I was serious, okay? I really wanted to know how many people won't do shit because of people who never did shit. Like, seriously. I mean, you have to really put yourself in the mindset of looking at your why, asking yourself, why am I here today? Nothing you did so special yesterday guaranteed you a spot in this day. Hey, cuz, I love you, Melissa. It didn't. I'm sorry. Nobody owed you anything. Nobody, had to do whatever they did for you. And when people do anything for you, even if that's encourage you, if that's take time out of their day to listen to you, if it's helped meet a need that you have, they didn't have to do this. They could have made excuses. Now, a lot of us have needed things before, and the people that we thought we could depend on, they just disappeared. They just turned into Casper, and they just kind of stepped to the side and was like, I hope they can get through it. See, you got to be one of those people where you understand that this is a gift. Right now is a gift. And don't be worried about the packaging. Shout out to Janetta Joseph, because I was literally thinking that today. So many people miss the message trying to observe the messenger. You can't do that because you don't know how the universe wants to reward you for being diligent. You don't know how God wants to bless you for being faithful. You don't know how you pushing through inspires and encourages somebody else. Stop quitting. Stop making excuses. So what? You don't have $1 million. If you have $5 and somebody walks up and they're hungry, you can feed them. If you have 5 minutes and somebody needs a kind word, you can uplift them. See, people always want to say, well, they got that mindset where I can't do nothing for you until I do something for myself. I am just a firm believer that, especially if you're going through a bad season and you're just, distraught right now, the quickest way to uplift yourself is to do something for others. I'm so big on paying it forward that, I never think about it. I always put myself in the other person's shoes. When I see people on the side of the street, I'll never forget this. It was just so amazing to me. Somebody gifted me out of the blue with a $50 Visa gift card. And I was not expecting it. And I was just like really grateful. And I was in tears because I was like, wow, that's dope. You didn't have to do that. Well, the exact same day, me and my kids were leaving the grocery store. And we saw this couple on the side of the street. And this is not to brag about it, but this is just to show you that it doesn't take anything to do something for somebody. And my son was sitting in the front seat, and he was like, man, he said, Mama, that man holding a sign, talking about he need to feed his family. I didn't have any cash on me, and I honestly was like, damn, what do I do? And my son was playing around in the car, and he was like, "What is this?" And he picked up that gift card. And immediately, I just stopped, pulled over. Of course, I held up traffic. But the guy came over, and he was like, "Thank you for stopping." And I was like, "No doubt." I was like, "Look, I don't have any cash." I was like, "But here's a gift card." I said, "There's $50 on it." I said, "I hope this helps." And he just started crying, and his little girl just started crying. And my kids started crying because they were like, that's really dope, to be able to help somebody. I mean, and you never know. You have to be an example. See, I could have used the excuse that I didn't have cash, and I could have been like, no, somebody gave me this, so that's for me. It's not. See, we're blessed to be a blessing, and until you learn how to make things happen for other people, you never know what's going to be next for you. And so I'm just one of those people where it excites me. And I would love to say helping people is selfless. But I'm going to be honest. That's probably the most selfish thing that I do. And I say that so humbly because there's nothing that equates to the feeling that you get for being able to make somebody's now better. Nothing. And I live for that feeling, that euphoria, that just, oh my God, this is what it feels like to be an extension of God. People can't put a price on that. They can't put a price on that. And so it is selfish of me when I go out here and let me say, inconvenience myself, to do something for somebody else. Because I love that feeling. I'm addicted to that dopamine that I get from seeing someone smile. I'm addicted to that feeling I get from seeing somebody believe again. I'm addicted to the feeling I get, to see somebody take what was given to them and pay it forward. I mean, I'm addicted to it. Y'all call me an addict, whatever, but it is just amazing to see that something that I didn't know I was going to get, something that, just came out of the blue to me, came on time. See, a lot of people don't understand time. Whatever time it is now, that is your now. And see, you have to capitalize on that. Because a lot of people, like, I need 5 years to do this. I need 10 years to do that. You don't. Forever is a long time if you keep procrastinating. You can do something right now, today, that will shift your forever. Simply by being available. Yes, Melissa, let me tell you something. Those kids, my biggest fear, and my mom taught me this. She told me that her fear as a parent was leaving her children before she prepared them for life. And she was like, it's not about having things. It's not about acquiring things. It's about teaching you how to love other people. And my parents have always been so adamant about that. If y'all go back and watch some of my lives, even especially the one where I used to be upset with my mom when I was a little kid because I kept seeing her give. And people seemed like they were taking advantage of her. And her philosophy has always been this. It's never about them. It's about, what am I showing God that I'm willing to do with the blessings that He gave me? And I love that. I got over being upset about that. I got over feeling like people were getting over on me because nobody ever does. Nobody ever does. I can guarantee you, no matter what I've ever done for you, if you've never done anything for me except receive what I've gifted you with, that is all I needed. So even if you never said thank you, I'm still good because I got to be okay with God. I have got to be okay with my maker, my creator, and that is what I live for every single day. So to be able to take the lessons that my parents taught me and pay it forward and teach them to my kids, and watching other parents call and tell me, that something one of my children did inspired their child to do something different, that domino effect. Because see, good things, just like things that are not so good, have a domino effect. You can take being an asshole and you can just turn somebody else's day into the same thing. Or you can take the fact that life is dope, God is great, and pay it forward. Like, really put a smile on somebody else's face. I love when I go up and down my timeline and I see people just pouring positivity, just going forward, because I want to give a shout out right now to everybody who has understood and grasped the concept of how dope it is not to fit in. I downloaded Tetris on my phone because I'm always somewhere where I have to just sit or be still. And it's so funny. that God took me back to Tetris. But guess what? Tetris taught me this, that trying to fit in, you will disappear. And that is one of the dopest lessons. I tell y'all I look for life lessons in everything. And that is, it was funny to me. It was funny to me because, in Tetris, you got to try to make as many lines disappear. I don't want you to disappear. I don't want you to play Tetris with your life. I want you to be exceptional. I want you to be phenomenal. I want you to be the most beautiful example of what it looks like to push through. I want you to be the best version of yourself, no matter what that looks like. And I want you to pay it forward. That is it. That is it. I mean, I get so excited just watching people help people. Whether it's a kind word, whether it's a financial blessing, whether it's just time, whether it's food, whether it's clothing, whether it's shelter, I don't care what it is. I just ultimately get this feeling of purpose when I see other people do these things. And guess what? God has never been short on filling my life with phenomenal people who feel the exact same way. Now, I've met a couple who don't. I mean, we're just going to be honest about that. But no, let's go back to how cowards love to put their fear in you. People who are afraid to extend their hand and help other people, those are cowards to me. Take it how you feel. If you've never done anything great for anybody, as far as, not expecting something back, and you were just really sharing and doing your part, because people love to say, I'm going to just sit back and let somebody else do it. Maybe the mission was for you, and that was your opportunity to show God that you're appreciative of the fact that you have something that can help somebody else. So we have to always remember that just like other people lose everything, we could lose everything. And you can't keep borrowing blessings and not paying it forward. I mean, you can't do it. Y'all watch these little documentaries and stuff about people who have won the lottery and they won all this money and then all of a sudden they're broke. They're broke. But the majority of those people, if you go back, you can go to YouTube and watch some of the videos, but the majority of those people took those winnings and went and just bought materialistic things. A lot of them never did anything to change anybody else's now, and that's why they go backwards. You see, the thing is, a lot of people are afraid to go backwards. They're going to use the excuse that I tried and it didn't work to quit. No. Because, again, quitting is not admirable. And what that says to me, because I've quit before, we're just going to be honest. I've quit before. And nothing feels worse than regret. Those what ifs will kill you. Those what ifs will bury everything else that's inside of you waiting to bloom. Those what ifs and those moments of being idle will prevent you from living the life that you say you want, will prevent you from being the example that you say you want to be, and it will most definitely prevent you from being connected to the people that will help you get to your next level. I love just learning. I love learning and then applying, okay? My grandfather always says you don't know something until you do it. So no matter how many books you read, no matter how many seminars you go to, no matter how many videos you watch, until you apply, everything that you learn, even in gradual steps. Stop trying to do everything at one time. And once the application process starts in your life, that's when you begin to see manifestation. That's when you begin to see your dreams and hopes and desires come into fruition. You can't wait for somebody to tell you to be great before you decide to be great. Go back to Gideon. I love Gideon's story because a lot of people are afraid to have their Gideon moment. And that Gideon moment is, even if somebody comes to you and speaks, oh my God, phenomenal things over your life, if you're in a place where you don't believe that and you don't accept that, put your fleece out. If you don't know the story of Gideon in the Bible, an angel came to Gideon and said, "Oh, you mighty and valiant warrior." And Gideon was like, "How, Sway? Not me." The Sway is not in the Bible, people, so don't start talking bad about me. But Gideon didn't believe what the angel saw. See, the angel saw Gideon's potential, but the angel didn't force that on Gideon. He just presented it to him. See, opportunity. Gideon was faced with an opportunity to begin to see himself the way that God created himself. And a lot of us are faced with those opportunities, but we have these blinders on. We're so focused on what other people are saying about us that we're not listening to what our Creator is saying about us. So Gideon decided that, you know what? Let me test this, because the Bible instructs us to test every spirit, okay? Test and try, test and prove every spirit. That is there, verbatim. So Gideon decided that, you know what? God, if this is you, I'm going to lay this fleece out, and I want you to put the dew on the grass and not the fleece. So Gideon went to sleep. He woke up. Guess what? The dew was on the grass. It wasn't on the fleece. Was Gideon impressed? A little. So the next day, he decided to do something different. God, if this is you, put the dew on the fleece and not the grass. So guess what? God being God and God being dope, and God has a sense of humor, let me entertain Gideon. God is waiting to entertain you. Sidebar. He's waiting to entertain you. So Gideon went to sleep. Gideon woke up. The dew was on the fleece. It was not on the grass. So Gideon still, 2 miracles, and Gideon still wasn't moved. A lot of you have been, shared, people have shared opportunity with you, and you still weren't moved, okay? Which is fine. This is God, right? So, third test. Gideon said, okay, if this is really you, because Gideon is like a lot of us. Gideon said, if this is really you, put the dew on me, not the fleece, not the grass. And Gideon went to sleep. God is probably like dying laughing, like he still don't get it. So God was like, okay, let me entertain Gideon. God put the dew on Gideon, not the fleece, not the grass. And Gideon finally decided to believe and operate in his power, in the fact that he was a mighty and valiant warrior. And he conquered some amazing things. So I say all of this to say this to you. If you haven't had your Gideon season, I advise you to do as David did and put your ashes on. Because a lot of people, shout out to my husband for his post this morning, because people love to tell you, that you can do anything, right? Not if your mind is wrong. Your mindset is going to determine where your next is going to be. So have your Gideon moment, but first have your David moment and put your ashes on. Acknowledge that you have fallen short, just like all of us. Acknowledge that there were some things that you did that were less than stellar. Acknowledge that there is some hurt in your life that you haven't allowed to heal, because God cannot heal any wound that we won't expose. You think about if you cut your leg or your arm and, you try to cover it up. Well, when you cover it up, it's in the dark, it's moist, and it seems like it just is never going to heal. But I love the Neosporin bottle, because, package, because it tells you to apply and then expose to the elements. See, the elements are what are going to heal you. So you need to, if you've gotten a cut, a hurt, a scar in your life, expose it right now. Push through your fears, face your fears, because that is how you conquer your future. That is how you walk into your forever, by facing the things that were designed or that came into your life that you thought were going to break you. I just shared with one of my girlfriends that maybe the reason that God is not keeping you from going through the fire is because he needs to use you as an example for the people who threw you into the fire. Maybe everything that you've gone through, the experience is necessary. So everything that you've gone through was on purpose. Now, true enough, a lot of our experiences are based upon our decisions. But so what? So what? We are not machines. We're people. We're human. And God loves us so much that he will give you a second chance. That's what today is. So anybody who feels like they need a second chance, this is your second chance, okay? This is your chance to be better than you were yesterday. And if yesterday was lit, guess what? Turn it up today. Don't rely on excuses to make you exceptional. They never will. They never will. You have got to conquer your fears. You've got to face yourself before you try to check somebody else. See, self-check is a skill. So check yourself, before you wreck yourself. And operate in your now. Operate in the power that you have right now. Think about all of the blessings that you have that money can't buy. And then put yourself in a position and ask yourself, oh my God. Because you all know somebody who doesn't have something that you have. Like, let's just be honest. You may have a girlfriend that wants an amazing relationship and she's alone. You may have somebody who is looking for work and you have a job. You may have somebody who had to take the bus or call an Uber because they don't have a car to get to their job. You may have somebody that's working in the office with you that doesn't have money for food and you brought your lunch. I mean, you just think about all of these things, people. Because once you grow, you need to contribute. Once you get to a point in your life where things are looking good, even if they're not looking great, you have something to contribute. If you can look back over a place in your life where you were that you thought was going to kill you and you're here to tell the story, you have something that somebody is begging God for right now. And that's the breakthrough. You conquered something. So stop hiding. Stop trying to make it seem like it has to be perfect before you operate in your purpose, because it doesn't. See, the thing is, when you go back to the creation story, God did everything else without putting his hands on it. But the one thing that he put his hand on was man. And that was the only thing that God said is good and very good. And he was pleased. So when you think about that, when you realize that when God created you, he saw that you were good and very good, and he was pleased with his creation. So he brought you into this world. See, what a lot of people don't understand is that you were created to be an answer to a specific question. You're wondering, a lot of people ask, why was I created? You were created to be an answer to a specific question. Now, Shayla, how do I find out what that question is? What sets your soul on fire? What gets you excited? What makes you just honestly feel the love of your creator? It may be cutting grass, okay? Like, let's just be honest. It may be cutting grass. It may be pressure washing houses. It may be washing cars. It may be washing dishes. It may be a fireman. It may be, see, people always want to get these, lavish careers, and they want everybody to know. Let me tell you something. More lives are being changed by the little, quote unquote, people than the big people. I'm just going to be honest. More lives are being changed by people who look just like you. People who walk the same walks that you walk. And that's only because they're operating in their purpose. So when you meet somebody who is passionate about something, don't take it lightly. Because that person, that individual is operating in their God-given gift. It may be a beautician. I admire people in the, health and wellness industry, people who are in the beauty industry, because that's something everybody wants to be. But you know how amazing it is to not only be beautiful on the outside, but to also be beautiful on the inside? That's dope. That is dope. And so I admire people who take their gifts and they pay it forward. I mean, one of my, oh my goodness, my cousins, let me be plural. Their gift was doing hair. Hey, Bam. Their gift was doing hair. And it just used to shock me as a little kid that these women would come in, they wouldn't be smiling. It was early in the morning. But by the time they left, the conversations they had, the way that they felt about themselves, everything was uplifted. And all my family members were doing was using their gift. And that inspired me. Use your gift. Watching my parents use their gifts. Watching, my friends use their gifts. Like, you guys, God tells us that your gift will make the way. Your gift will make the way. Don't be afraid to be the best version of yourself. Do not be afraid to start where you are and bloom where you're planted. And I just really want to give a shout out to everybody who's going through something and you're still putting a smile on your face. Because you understand that I need to accept now to get to my next. I need to learn what I need to learn in this season so that I will be prepared for the next. Stop trying to skip the lesson. Please stop pointing the finger to make a point and focus on taking care of you. See, taking care of you looks so different for everybody. And I'm just going to be honest. That's just like, I love when people say, well, they're skinny, they're healthy. No, there are some healthy, unskinny people. And there are some healthy people, unhealthy, skinny people. And there are some little plump people who are healthier than the skinny person. So image can be deceiving. Image can be deceiving. But the beautiful thing about nutrition is it's on the inside. And it shows on the outside, in your actions, in your words, in the way that you treat people, in the way that you treat yourself. And I just really, I admire people who continue to push through. I admire people who got knocked down and they got back up. See, my mom always told me, just because you get knocked down doesn't mean you stay down. And that is what you have to remember. I don't care what life throws at you. If God woke you up, God sees purpose in you. God sees that you got something in you to get you a little further. I need you to learn what you need to learn now so that you can get to your next, so that you can be a blessing to somebody else. So I don't care if your life doesn't look like these lives you see on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever. I don't care. What does it look like to you? Because for God to continue to bring you into a new day, something about your life is purposeful. Something about you needs to be shared with other people. So don't you dare cheat yourself. Don't you dare cheat yourself. Because everything that you go through was on purpose for a purpose. If you take time to quiet your spirit, connect with God, and just ask God, what will you have me to do? See, don't ask God about your neighbor. Don't ask God about your spouse. Don't ask God about your children. Ask God about what his plans are for you. Because that's going to trigger that domino effect. Because nothing is doper than watching a person operate in their purpose, and it's inspiring somebody else to operate in their purpose. Stop negating the fact that you're great. I tell y'all every day that you're dope. Stop negating the fact that you're great. Because somebody needs to see you operate in your greatness so that they can take a stand and begin to move forward and operate in theirs. So please don't cheat yourself. Always remember that even when you don't know somebody's watching, you're being observed. I love to remind people that God is everywhere. God sees everything that you do. So if God is watching and God is the most important, what does it matter how it looks to others? What does it matter? But see, the reason other people's opinions matter is because you haven't connected with your Creator to find out what his opinion is. And you don't have to dig deep. I told y'all the Bible tells you that when God created man, he said this is good and very good, and he was pleased. God was pleased when he created you. Now all he wants you to do is get back to being pleased with being yourself. Stop trying to fit in, okay? Stop trying to fit in. If it was meant for all of us to be the exact same, guess what? We'd all be identical. We'd all be twins. Guess what? This gap in my teeth, I used to be bothered by it. But guess what? It's mine. And I embrace it. Being short, I used to be bothered by that, but I have the heart of a giant, so it doesn't matter. Dark skin. When I was a little girl, yes, that was a problem. That was an issue. But now, honey, you're going to get all this black girl magic, because that is not the limitations of who I am. Who I am, because you're going to have to cut this skin off, take this weave out, take these earrings off, and just see me for who I am. And then you're going to be like, you know what? That bitch is dope. And I say that so humbly because I love me. And I love me enough to share me with other people. And so today, I just want you to understand that there is no reason for you to make excuses on limiting your life. Your life deserves you to take a chance on it because God took a chance on you. That's that free will. Now, when was the last time you loved somebody enough to give them free will? You introduce them to something, you share something with them, but you allow them to make their own decision. Stop trying to control people until you learn how to have self-control. That is a fruit of the Spirit. Long-suffering is also a fruit of the Spirit. So if you have no patience, it's going to be a long day. And it's going to be very hard for you to get to that peace that God promises that he left with us. So I love y'all too much to lie to y'all. You're dope. You deserve to live life as the best version of yourself. And by all means, do something today to help somebody's now. And I promise it's going to help you get to your next. Mwah. Enjoy your day. It's a winning Wednesday. Go and change your life. Bye.